So in the Pulse of Quasar's box, we actually got a really interesting normal rarity trap, which is called Cloak and Dagger. You can declare a monster card name. If your opponent normal special summons or flips that monster face up, you banish that card and discard. So this is actually a pretty interesting staple choice for a lot of decks, because if you know what your opponent is playing, you can just declare their starter and you can just banish them. It's like Karma Cut without the discard cost, but you can only use this when your opponent normal or special summons a monster. It's kind of like Bottomless, in that it is a lot useful turn 1 because your opponent would summon a monster, but it's a lot less good if you go second, because if your opponent already has a whole bunch of monsters on field, you can't really use Cloak and Dagger on those monsters. And also, this card requires a lot of knowledge of what your opponent is playing. Even if you know what deck your opponent is playing, you need to know their combos, you need to know what they drew, and also what extra deck monsters they're playing. So for new players, this might be a bit of a challenge because you might not know every single deck in the game. But for experienced players, at least you will have a general idea of how a lot of decks play in the game, and you will know which card to declare with this card. And this card is also really good in combination with a Pointer of the Red Lotus. It is another really cheap trap card. It's also N rarity. You can pay 2 Vassal Life Points and reveal your entire hand, and look at your opponent's hand and banish 1 card until your opponent's next end phase. So this card allows you to basically look at your opponent's hand and remove 1 card temporarily, and that helps you know what cards your opponent has in their hand, so you know exactly what to declare with Cloak and Dagger. And also it removes some of the outs your opponents might have to your board. So, for example, if your opponent has some kind of a monster removal, like maybe they have a Dark Hole, and you already have a full board of boss monsters, but you don't want to be destroyed by Dark Hole, you can just a Pointer, banish the Dark Hole, and then and you can also look at your opponent's hand, you know what monsters they're playing, so you can just declare that monster with Cloak, and if they try to summon that monster, it will just be banished. So are these cards good? They aren't really good, but they are really cheap. So obviously both Cloak and a Pointer are kind of really bad going second. So that kind of explains why they are such a low rarity, but they are actually quite good going first. So if you can't really afford those expensive staples like Book of Moon, Warning Point, you can temporarily supplement them using Cloak or even a Pointer. So these are some tech choices that you can consider when you're building your deck. And we are going to try it in Rose Dragons. Rose Dragons have quite a bit of slots for staple traps, so we're going to try to play them in this deck and see how well that goes. Ooh! There we go, there we go. Okay, there it is, the combo. It's the combo. Yes! Maybe we don't have to drop back to Legend 1. It's the combo. Okay, I'm gonna do the regular Rose Dragon things. We'll just summon Rox Rose, grab a Basil, and then we Basil back a monster. And then we make a Riser. We send the robe. Then we set. No, wait. Okay, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's fine, it's fine. Okay, and then we turn on the toggle. Okay, so allow me to explain what we're about to do. First of all, we can't activate a pointer, as you can see. That is because we don't have any cards to show in our hand. But we can solve this by simply activating Basil Rose Shoot, summoning back the Rocks Rose, and the Rocks Rose will search as a card, which we can show to our opponent. And also, that will also trigger Robe because we activated a spell trap. So, you know, summon the Robe, and then we go grab another Basil Rose. And now we have a card to show to our opponent, which we will do immediately. So we activate a pointer, our opponent looks at our hand, which is the single Basil Rose that we just searched, and also we get to look at our opponent's entire hand, and we know what deck they're playing. Okay, so they are playing 6 Samurais. That is 2 Dual Wields. Okay, so now I will banish one of their monsters. And then now because I know their entire hand, I know that all 3 of his traps don't work if it doesn't have a monster, so I will search Fuma. I will declare Fuma. So if he normal summons Fuma, it just gets banished. And also because his dual wields only work if he has a face-up attack position 6 Samurai, and he has two of those traps. So those 2 traps will be completely useless because he is forced to set that monster in face down if he wants to summon a monster. And also the revive trap is, yeah, he has to set the monster face down.